Hi, I'm Dan Can. Are things not working out? Have you been failing more than you've been succeeding? Hey, did you know that success has a structure? Yes, yes, it does. I am going to give you that structure after this.
Most people chase success. Few build it on a foundation that lasts. On the Invested Life with Dan Can, we explore the intersection of faith, business, and personal growth, helping you invest in what matters most. This is your space to protect, provide, and promote with purpose. Join us now and start building a life you truly love.
Hi, I'm Dan Can. Welcome to the Invested Life podcast. This is the podcast where, as leaders, we find and discover, and we do. And this is what we do: we provide, we protect, and we promote. We do that by investing in ourselves, others, and businesses. That's our mantra. Okay. We invest in ourselves, others, and businesses. Businesses that I invest in are insurance, real estate, financing, and bookkeeping. Those are my businesses. I love marketing. I love generating referrals. And this podcast is for anyone who's in the business of relationships. And so that's going to be business owners, salesmen, nonprofits that are in charge of culture. I'm going to spend a lot of time today talking about culture and how you, as a leader, can set yourself up for success. I'm going to spend a lot of time talking about what my typical day looks like. I am a high routine guy. I know I've mentioned that many times on this podcast. The reason why I'm a high routine guy is I don't want to spend a lot of mental bandwidth trying to find my keys, trying to find something to wear, trying to find my wallet. Like, I know where all those things are the night before when I go to do my day. It doesn't sound like a big win, but it actually is. And so, without any other pause here, I do want to jump into what it looks like. So, if you have a journal or you're using your phone, get that notes out because I'm going to give you some real tangible things to help you be successful. But before I do that, I got to share this big win that I got today. And this is totally sidetracked. This was not on the script, but I'm going to do it. Basically, this morning, I reached a goal that I have been working on for decades. And that sounds crazy, I know. But 2.5 years ago, I weighed in at 234 pounds. Now I'm 6'1", so 234, that's big. And I just was not in a good place mentally, spiritually, occupationally, relationally. I was on vacation. I read that book, Atomic Habits, like what I've shared before. Wanted to get 1% better every month. So that was losing 1.5 to 2 pounds. Well, I had a goal to get under 200 pounds. And man, I got close many times, but I was never able to get that. Well, finally this morning, I got to 198.7 pounds. So the joke I put on Facebook was, I haven't seen 199 pounds since 1999. So, which is the truth, actually. So, if you're not following me on Facebook, please just look me up, Dan Cantiana. I'd love to share with you some of my personal stories. So I'm sorry, I'm kind of sidetracked there, but I'm just so pumped that I finally got my goals because literally it was over a decade trying to get this 199 number. I got it. Now, hey, it's time to maintain or maybe go a little bit lower. So this structure of success, this is how I do things. You might listen and just be like, hey, I'm not doing that. Or you might be like, yeah, that's me. So this is how I start my day each and every single day. Well, I wake up. Praise God. And I typically will have a verse on my heart or my mind. I'm a believer. And so I believe in the Lord Jesus Christ. And so it's typically let love and faithfulness never leave you. Okay. I believe that's Proverbs 3:1. Let love and faithfulness never leave you. Also, John, in the first book of John, where it says that, Jesus is grace and truth. So I wake up, I meditate on those verses, first things. Okay. Now I get up, I come into my office, I put on my workout clothes. First thing, I stretch out. I'm 50 years old. I stretch out anywhere from 2 to 3 times a day. Monday, Wednesday, Saturday, I go on long runs. Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, I go on long walks. My runs are usually 35 minutes to an hour. My walks are anywhere from an hour to an hour and 30 minutes. I firmly believe that we as humans were made to be outside. And so I get outside. I live in Spokane, Washington. We have 4 months of just bad weather. I actually like it. And so I get out there in the snow and the ice. I take pictures of myself because sometimes it gets frozen, all the water gets frozen on my face in the winter, but I get outside. I do that every day. Come home, shower up, get dressed for the day, and then I have what I call a quiet time. And this is a very strategic time. As you know, as a leader, there's a lot of responsibilities, a lot of conversations throughout the day. And so I do what I call a slow play. And I sit at my desk, I set a timer on my computer for 5 minutes. I hit that timer for 5 minutes, and I call this my solitude time. Completely quiet. It's just me and the Lord. I collect my thoughts. I think about him and his character, who he is, what he's done, what he's going to do. Sometimes it's awesome. Sometimes it's really hard. But I do that each and every day. After that, I pray. I have a list of what I call rooftop prayers. I have a list of about 60 people that I pray for. One side is the list on my journal, and then the other side, what I've done through different Bible reading times, is I have about 31 principles that I have got verses for, and whatever day that is. So, like today's the first, so I put the first, and there's a prompt, a prayer prompt there, and I pray over those people. I get done with that, and then in my journal, I have what I call 5 blessings. And so what I do is I meditate on what happened yesterday that had 5 blessings. And this really slows me down to be uh, grateful. And it's cool because you have these moments like, oh, yeah, that worked out, or that was cool, or I was able to do that. And so writing down those 5 blessings is a huge, huge deal. Then, when I'm done with that, I read and I read and I pray and I meditate or I'll worship for another 40 minutes to an hour. Now, I get up at about 4:40 to 5 o'clock. And so I usually am finished with all this by about 7 or 7:30. I do this every single day. Every day I do this. On Sundays, I don't walk, I don't run. That's a rest day. I will typically sleep in on Sundays a little bit. Sleeping in for me is like 6:30. And I'm a morning person. If you're not, I get it, but that's how I work. That structure of success really sets the tone for the remainder of the day. And I've said this many times on the podcast here, but if you don't tell your time where to go, your time's going to tell you where to go, and then you're not the head, you're the tail of the dog. That's a bad idea. Take it from me. You want a time block and you want to set the schedule. So success has a structure. And I can tell you just from personal experiences, the reports that I read, the books that I read, that this will help you be successful. Now, I want to pivot a little bit and tell you about a fantastic event that happened last week, and it was on my blessing, my 5 blessings the day after. Is I put on a Dan Can How to Generate Organic Leads workshop. And so that's, write that down. Dan Can How to Generate Organic Leads workshop. Here's the premise: organic leads naturally turn into sales. Organic leads naturally turn into sales. We got a little play on words: organic, naturally, sales, marketing, baby. So I had the opportunity to give a presentation. It was about an hour and 40 minutes long to 25 business owners here in Spokane. I rented a conference area at a hotel off a division. 25 business owners came. We had a wide variety of business owners. It was great. We had people that owned high-end outdoor pools. We had people that had just started a painting company. We had representatives from NBC for the TV affiliate here in Spokane. We had a SBA lender from US Bank. We had realtors, we had insurance people, we had roofers, we had a company that they do asphalt, and so it was a real honor and blessing to do this workshop. There was a lot of energy in the room. I felt like they wanted more after the workshop, and I want to go over just the first section of the workshop. What was great about getting everybody together is that they were all like-minded. They had that what I call growth mindset. And it just was really good to feel that energy, that movement, right? And so what we're going to do, and this kind of happened after some feedback, is we're now going to take that workshop and we're going to break it down into like subgroups. And I'm going to combine 4 to 6 different business owners, and we're going to get together once a month and brainstorm real problem solving issues on how they can generate organic leads for themselves and their team. Really excited to serve them, really excited to dive deep into their business and what they have, as you know, hey, this is my dragon, I got to slay this thing. And so really excited for that. So the first thing you want to do with this Dan Can workshop is you want to identify a list of your sphere. And so this is what I said, this is what I communicate during the workshop. Side note, I also gave a workshop this morning for Century 21 Realtor Association here in Spokane. 25 realtors were there. Really great opportunity to share the workshop. After that, a big blessing. One of the interns came up to me. She's the head of the Gonzaga Real Estate and Finance Club, and she asked me if I could come do the workshop for these budding entrepreneurs, which is amazing. Totally excited to do that. This morning, I got a text from a loan officer that was at the workshop for the realtors, and she's here at Idaho Credit Union. And she asked if I could come and do the workshop for not only their loan officers for single family homes, but also for their commercial division. So getting a lot of traction, a lot of momentum. There's a need to generate leads organically, and I love doing that. I've been doing that for 20 years, and I feel like I'm the authority on that. So I hope and pray that they do the work, because I literally have that slide. I have the definition of work in the slide, because you got to work or it doesn't work. So the first part of the workshop is this. You want to get a Christmas list that you mail to. I call that your sphere, okay? Look on your cell phone for people that you habitually communicate with. So that's the first thing you need to do, right? And then this is what I like to communicate during the workshop. If you have a sphere of influence, if you have a book of business, past customers, and if you have clients that you're currently working with, which I call in process, if you have those three things, this referral workshop will work for you. And it's really great because you see people nodding, like, oh, yeah, I have those 3 things. And so, in sales, they're nodding, you're winning. And they're doing this, you're not doing this, you are. And so, what we do then is we break down. I have this sheet called the process. We don't have time to go over that today. But the first thing on the sheet is what I call power notes. A lot of this was taken from 2 books. One was The Power of Who by Bob Bodine, and then the other one was The 7 Levels of Communication. I kind of took those 2 things and blended it together with some other books and principles that I've operated business with for a while. First thing is this. I do this 4 days out of the week, each and every day. 4 days I do this. I write, so the first box is called Power Notes. I write 3 power notes a day. 2 of those notes are from people in my sphere, and I literally have an Excel spreadsheet of the people I go down. And this is what I do. You start at A, work your way down. Typically, they're in the list, and there's some kind of attribute that I admire about that person. And so the note basically looks like this. Hey, how are you doing? I hope you're doing great. Hope this note finds you well. And then there's something I really admire about that person. And it's true, it's genuine. Like, I'm not making it up. Like, I honestly admire these things about these people. And so I'll write that in there, and then I'll write, hey, I want to be more like you. And it's true. I mean, one I got to do for my stepdad's mom, Anne. She's amazing. She's full of joy, always been joyful. And I wrote her a note and simply said, great to see you this summer, thinking about you. And just so you know, over the decades, I've really admired your joy. I want to be more like you. Call or text me anytime. That's it. I don't mention anything about business. I just want them to know that I'm thinking about them. And the reason why I send these power notes is because I don't know about you, but most things I get in the mail, it's not great. Like their bills or these things, right? And so for someone to get something great in the mail, I just want to spark that joy. So I said 3 notes. So 2 notes are someone in my sphere. And then typically, because I'm a businessman, I'm in the marketplace, I'm collecting cards from different people. And so I have a stack of business cards, and typically the third one will be something about, it'll be the contact will be a business person. Now, that's a little harder to say this attribute because I sometimes I don't know these people, but I will send a card. Like for example, lately I've been sponsoring golf tournaments and things like that. So I'm golfing with somebody that I just met. So for example, Friday I met this gentleman Tom. He owns a well drilling business here in the Inland Empire. The guy had an amazing shot on hole number one. It was this 9 iron. It was his best shot of the day. It was perfectly shaped, landed 15 feet from the hole. So I just told him, hey, Tom, nice to meet you. I hope you're doing well. Congratulations on your successful business. Hey, I just want to let you know that your 9 iron shot on hole number one was my favorite shot of the day because it was beautiful. Call or text me anytime. I'd love to talk with you. Dan can. That's the first box. I can tell you that if you take time to do these power notes, it brings a lot of joy and satisfaction to your day. Here's a tidbit I forgot. They need to be custom notes. I don't have one with me right now, or I'd show it to you, but I had these custom notes made where it's really high quality paper and it says on top, it says from the desk of Dan Can. Don't go to Staples or Office Depot and buy those cheese ball ones that everyone gets, okay? Get some custom notes made. Do it in blue ink. I got that from the 7 levels of communication. Use blue ink, write well, check your spelling, all the great stuff. Listen, success has a structure, and how you structure and start your day is going to help you with that. I want to end with this. I should have started with it, but I forgot. Here's my disclaimer. I am not a lawyer. I am not a registered financial advisor. I'm not a real estate agent. I'm an investor. I'm a deal finder, and that's what I love to do. In my business currently right now, and I would suggest this for you and your business and your team right now, focus on these 3 things. These 3 things: contacts, content, and closure. As the leader of my 4 businesses, those are the 3 things that I'm really focusing on. Contacts, content, and closure. Some exciting things are coming up here on the Dan Can podcast, the Invested Life podcast. Stay tuned. This is once again going to be a Dan Can musing. It's fall baseball time. This one involves baseball once again.
Tired of missing real estate deals because you were waiting for the bank to approve your funding? At Wave Capital Investing, we get you funded fast with flexible terms and a streamlined process. No red tape, no stress. Apply today at wavecapitallending.com and ride the wave to your next successful real estate investment.
Okay, welcome back. So, Scott, our amazing Canadian producer of the podcast here, asked me at the end of last week about the game that Caleb did the worm to celebrate in. And once again, you can't do the worm in baseball. Yes, we won that game. So, for those of you who are sitting on the edge of your seat all week long and you're wondering, yes, we won the game. Okay, so it's baseball time. My Mariners won the division. It's been 20 something plus years. Let's go. Really excited. And once again, this is about a baseball team that I coached for 4 years, 3 or 4 years. And we won 3 city titles. We scored a lot of runs. We had some amazing athletes, pitchers. Well, we had this one playoff run where, yeah, man, we weren't scoring a lot of runs. I mean, we were, but it wasn't like what it was used to. And as a leader, and I believe you're a leader, we need to provide, protect, and promote. Under promote is culture, right? We're in charge of culture. We're in charge of maintaining it, creating it. Hey, cutting from it if it's bad culture, adding to it if it's good culture, right? So I'm this baseball coach, and man, we're hitting a slump, and it's kind of getting negative. And I'm like, what can I do to kind of shake these guys up to make it fun. Well, I'm driving home one day, and like, I mean, it's junior, I mean, it's youth baseball, but you want to do it with excellence, you want to win, and I was like, what could I do? And I'm like, I know. We got to warm up the bats. And so I started going down this road, like, how do we warm up the bats? I was like, well, what warms things up? I was like, well, oven, a microwave. That's it. So I drove to a thrift store. I found this 1990s microwave. I bought it, brought it home. I cut the electrical cord off the back, threw that in the garbage. I brought it to our next game, and I said, "Okay, guys, here we go. I'm gonna put this microwave on the bench, okay, at the end of the bench. Before you go up to the on deck circle, I want you to take your bat and I want you to tap the microwaves because we got to warm up these bats. We got to warm up these bats." Oh my word, they loved it. And so they started tapping it every time they went up. We started scoring runs, and then the pitchers were like, "Man, we got to put our baseballs in there. I want a warm ball." And so we started putting baseball into the microwave. But so we win this game, and once we scored a lot of runs, it was really great. So what I did then at this point is I decided, let's take this a little step further. So I gave the player of the game, I gave them the microwave to take home because this thing was heavy and I had all this equipment. I really didn't want to bring it home. Well, this awesome kid, Preston, he was player of the game. And so I gave him the microwave. I mean, you should have seen this kid's face. I mean, I didn't, he's a smiley kid to begin with, but man, I'd never seen him smile this big. So he's walking with his dad with the microwave. And so I get a text from Preston's mom. Hey, it's great we won the game. Why did Preston come back with a microwave? It was so good. One of my favorite baseball memories is watching him walk back for our next game a week later, and he has his bag and he's carrying this microwave, and he's just so proud because he got player of the game and he has this microwave and everyone's looking at him. So as leaders, we're in charge of culture, we're in charge of helping others, we're in charge of giving vision. My vision was to warm up the bats. Instead of yelling and screaming, getting mad, I brought a microwave and it worked out. So I appreciate you listening to the podcast. We're going to take a quick break and I'm going to tie it all together.
One accident can change everything. Are you covered? At Dankin Insurance Agency in Spokane, we protect what matters most: your family, your car, your peace of mind. Get a free quote in a timely fashion. Dancan, because you can count on us. Dancan Insurance Agency specializes in auto, home, motorcycles, and life insurance. Call us today at 509-328-1422.
Hey, if this podcast had a title, it'd be this: The Structure of Success. Success has a structure. I'm telling you, you know that in your life. Probably some of the best times of success you had is because you were in a good routine or a good pattern, or you were following a playbook that worked for you. I shared with you, hey, I lost a bunch of weight, over 35 pounds. That's nuts. I share with you a wonderful workshop that I have the blessing to be able to share with others, other sales reps, other business owners. It's really about people being with people and community, and I love that. I love that about the marketplace is that oftentimes as entrepreneurs, we're individuals. We spend a lot of time alone, which can sometimes get depressing and hard. And so when we come together, I just love that about that. Hey, I talked about culture, about bringing a microwave to a ball game just to change it up. What do you need to change up today? Write it down. Man, I'm really struggling with this. I need to change this. What's your microwave moment? Turn that frown upside down. What do you got to do, right? I hope that you had half as much fun listening to this podcast as I did. I hope you found the content valuable. As I mentioned, work on these three things: contacts, content, closure. If you need help generating leads, man, feel free to email me. Uh, there's 5 books that just had radical impact on my life, and impact for purpose. If you want that list of those 5 books, please email me at dancan@wavecapitallending.com. It's on the screen there. Once again, dancan@wavecapitallending.com for those YouTube watchers. And I really appreciate you sacrificing your time listening to me, my stories, my principles. I hope you have an amazing day. Go out there, Enjoy it, enjoy the journey. And as always, Dan Can listeners, love well and do good.